Robot builders from around Australia once again convene in Brisbane, ready to fight their machines in the largest weight class available. This event is of the Sportsman Featherweight class, defined by 13.6kg machines prohibited from high kinetic energy weapons. Without hiding behind a big spinning bar, competitors try for more unique designs, with many saws, lifters, hammers, flippers, twisters, grapplers, shamers, and whatever this is. Fights are rarely won with finishing moves, rather a 3-minute demonstration of dominance and technical skill. I'm one of these builders and have entered with my robot Derive, a high-powered grappler lifter designed to suplex opponents. It's an evolution of the open combat robot that competed previously. For this event, its drivetrain has been upgraded to use Maytech 5065 motors for even greater power than its last outing. But with great power comes great technical difficulties. The night before leaving for Brisbane was spent troubleshooting the motor controllers. For some unknown reason, the vest controls weren't able to commutate in both directions, only forward. What made this extra baffling was that flipping the motor direction in firmware flipped the polarity of the fault, which indicated some sort of software problem. BLDC mode worked fine but drove poorly, only FOC had issues. The result of this was that the robot had maybe 5% power when driving backwards. After 5 or 6 hours of troubleshooting, with some cluey minds helping out, the problem was not resolved. This was the only photo taken all night. We arrived on scene at the South Bank Piazza in Brisbane. As part of the World Science Fair, we had been given quite the venue, being the largest combat robot event I'd ever been to. Everything was filmed by proper AV crew, which was a stark but welcome change to the usual shaky box-side foam videos. Soon enough, the event filled with competitors from more or less every part of the country. Depending on how the event proceeded, a competitor would get either 2 or 3 round-robin fights, before progressing to the finals bracket if they have enough points. The bracket is very simple. If you win fights, you move on. Despite that, the event is a paid spectator one, with every session being completely sold out, so putting on a good show was just as important if we ever wanted to do this again. For this event, aside from the drivetrain upgrades and new weapon, I'm trialling a new type of radio transmitter. Instead of the usual dual sticks, the subject of this experiment is an RC car style pistol radio. Derive's first opponent was Banana Bender, a shuffling lifter. Banana is pretty fast and has a long fork that can match mine. The obvious strategy is to outdrive and aim for the shuffle pods for a lift, as it takes much less torque to lift from there compared to the front or back. Due to the issues with driving backwards, the motor controls are adjusted to be operating in BLDC mode. A benefit of a proper AV crew is production value, so the graphics seen during fights are from them. Additionally, each competitor was allowed to pick a piece of entry music.
Get this competition underway. First up, we have Derive making its way to the arena. So Derive is a clamper lifter style robot with those overhead arm and those forks on the front, designed to get underneath its opponent, lift it up and stack it up against the wall. So as Angus said, these battles will go for 3 minutes, but in that 3 minutes, these robots are trying to incapacitate their opponent, whether that be by damaging them, pinning them, or getting them in a position where they are unable to release and move around the arena.
Pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are coming down in pairs. Bananas in pajamas are chasing teddy bears. 'Cause on Tuesdays they all try to catch them unawares.
All right, let's get this battle underway. Red team, are you ready? Green team, are you ready?
3, 2, 1, fight!
Derive bringing the fight to Banana Bender.
Banana Bender going inside Derive and using that weight advantage to lift it up.
Pushing it into the corner with Death Roll. But Banana Bender's pushing back
though. It's definitely a kind of demented ballet.
You'll hear the shuffling, the shuffling mechanism moving it around the arena.
And a suplex by Derive. And the GoPro is now arena debris.
Theatrical. Got some parts left on the floor over there.
Derive.
That sheer extra weight of Banana Bender making it difficult for Derive to lift. But it does have it. Oh, coming from the back.
Attack mode.
Derive just looking for an opening where it can effectively lift. Banana Bender seems to be on the retreat there, trying to get around the back or find an opportunity to get those forks underneath Derive.
On a side grab from Derive, lifting 45 pounds.
Just not able to get the leverage on Banana Bender.
So far, both drivers coming at each other, neither backing down. And a flip by Banana Bender on Derive.
Nothing set to the last minute, hey.
This could be anyone's game at this point.
10 seconds. 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well done.
And this fight will go through to a judge's decision. We'll tally those scores and get back to you very shortly with the winner. All right, and we have a unanimous decision from that. The winner is Derive.
Well
Big
done,
round of applause
James.
for Derive.
While the fight went roughly to plan, it's clear that we have found the limits of this lifting mechanism. The open combat lifter threw robots around far easier, but that's likely due to less than half the torque required to tip a robot compared to cleanly lifting them. One can see in this diagram the difference between pivoting and properly hoisting an opponent. While Derive may have appeared to be driving pretty well, on the sticks it felt like steering an ocean liner. This is definitely down to the BLDC mode switch. Compared to FOC, the drive was very loose and sweepy. The gamble was made to switch back to FOC, though this would have later consequences. Derive was built to tackle the more commonly seen compact, small robots that are easy to manipulate, so naturally its next opponent was one of the gangliest robots in the competition, Skeletor. The robot was built around 2015, making it about a decade old, featuring a chassis made of hacksaw arms, drill motors for drive, and a car seat motor to pivot the arm, and a starter motor powering the saw. The obvious concern when fighting a saw robot was the chance of them cutting the chain that drives the lifter. With Sportsman's, any damage spells doom in the judges' scoring, as so little damage is taken overall. A complete loss of the main weapon would be a certain loss of the match. Skeletor would be driven by Rob, a bloke with many years of competing.
It has such character. This fight could go either way.
All right, let's get this battle underway. Red team, are you ready? Green team, are you ready?
3, 2, 1, fight!
And they're off. Derive coming into Skeletor and throwing it upside down. Oh, that jaw though. Grabbing Skeletor and lifting Skeletor clean off the ground.
Lifting.
And a suplex.
Watch out for the blade.
Skeletor's frame's very large and exposed, but
The blade
question
isn't
is-
spinning.
the question is, can they separate? Oh, I do see separate. Yep, Derive has separated from Skeletor.
Straight in for the kill. Derive is really going for it.
But so far, Skeletor able to get back on its wheels.
Saw coming down and spinning up, but unable to give him the time to cut into Derive. Derive just clamping on the back of Skeletor and moving him around the arena.
Looks like Skeletor may be having some issues with its drives. Oh, and another ram into the wall. Derive being delicate, just grabbing one of those ribs of Skeletor and then Lining up again for a smash.
Derive needs to release Skeletor after 10 seconds. 60 seconds remaining on this fight.
Can Skeletor drive? I see a loose motor just dangling at the back.
Derive.
And that looks definitive.
Count out in.
Derive inside. Hold your inside the middle of Skeletor.
Skeletor, are you able to self-right?
We can start a count out once Derive lets go of Skeletor. I think the two may be quite firmly stuck together.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the win goes to Derive.
Derive.
Absolutely brutal fight there.
So does that mean Rob's going again here as well? Like he's just keeping going.
Derive delivering Skeletor to the arena door.
Another win for Derive, the FOC settings definitely making the robot twitchier, though it probably didn't matter a lot in this fight. Once Skeletor was inverted, it was pretty much over, but in the interest of a good show, we kept the fight going. At the end of the fight on the final slam, one of Derive's forks got stuck in the polycar walls. Now this wouldn't normally be a problem, but with the severely hampered reverse power, I couldn't pull myself out. If that was during a more dynamic fight, I could have well been counted out. Something that's been apparent here is robots often getting stuck together. The rules say one has to separate after 10 seconds, and the house robot is there to nudge if need be, but it seemed that if the robots are trying to separate, they left things be. Arguably they should have pulled Derive out of Skeletor or vice versa, they left things alone to not affect the flow of the fight. I got a good look at the motor that fell out of Skeletor. It appears to have an 8mm hex drive welded to the original gear, driving some drill driver welded to another axle that ends up in the angle grinder gearbox, which is being driven in reverse. The motor was pipe clamped to the inside of the arm, which is why it fell out. Neat way of going about things. With 2 wins, Derive was into the playoffs. Due to time constraints, only some robots got 3 fights, and the quarterfinals were 3-way rumbles. Its opponents were Hatchet Job, an all-brushless 4-wheel drive hammer robot, and Bob, a steel-armoured horizontal saw. This Bob is roughly the same robot that Derive fought in its first ever fight in the opening class, though now with a horizontal saw instead of a bar spinner. For this fight we had to plan for 2 different weapons. First, the polycarbonate panels were put on top to attempt to absorb any hammer blows. Secondly was a plan against the saw robot. The front forks are made out of hardened steel, which would tank the damage, so the strategy was to always face the saw front on.
Bob's driven by Sophie today. Let's make Sophie feel welcome.
Bob's armed with that really nasty horizontal saw blade.
Trio of cousins working together. Got one of our youngest competitors on this team. I think Claudia's in grade 8.
Let's get this battle underway in
2, 1, fight!
Oh,
Straight
Derive
in.
first off the mark towards Bob in the corner, but Hatchet Job, well, a suplex by Derive, but Hatchet Job throwing in a flurry of blows. Looks like Bob might already be stuck on the arena wall. Derive taking no prisoners.
Derive is straight in.
Hatchet Job coming in with that hammer. Derive trying to grab its opponent, stacking Hatchet Job on top of Bob and throwing it around the arena. But Bob, that saw blade is up to speed, trying to line up and get a few gashes in.
Pinning, stacking, flipping. Oh.
Another throw by Derive, almost
Working
stuck in
together.
the wheel well of
Yeah.
Bob. Sparks flying out of that saw blade.
Bulletproof glass, plexiglass here, so don't worry about that.
Derive just grabbing another suplex. That grabbing lifting mechanism, but both robots are still in it. Both robots flipped at once. absolutely ridiculous three-way fight here. But all robots still going. And a big push into the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, Hatchet Job stuck on its back momentarily, but back on its wheels.
Working together to disable an opponent. Very good strategy.
All three robots ridiculously aggressive. And another arena ram and flip. Those sparks flying as Derive flips Bob yet again. That has to be the third or fourth or fifth flip.
1 minute to
and
go.
another hammer blow from Hatchet Job. Action-packed semi-final here.
High energy. This is great. Chasing each other around.
That saw
Relentless.
coming in, looking for the delicate components. And another box rush there.
Bob's upside down, but still on the go.
Hatchet Job chasing, trying to catch up with these two opponents.
Ooh.
Derive dividing its attention between the two. And another suplex. That saw blade momentarily stopped.
10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ceasefire.
That fight is over.
Nice
Absolute
work.
chaos from start
That
to
was
finish.
Exciting. Great battle.
That will go to a judge's decision. We'll
Very-
deliberate and get right back to you.
We have a very close tally here with all of our judges' scores, but we have a unanimous verdict of the winner. And the winner of that fight was Derive.
Well done.
Rather successful, Derive moves on to the semi-finals. What wasn't obvious from the footage was that the hammerbot actually did some reasonable damage to my machine, bashing in one of the top plates through the polycarb and scuffing up one of the lifter gears. Bob's saw was the perfect height to slip between the top armour and side, as well as munging one of the forks, but otherwise Derive was ready to go again. The semi-final fight was facing another forked lifter in Triceracop. To reach the semis, Triceracop fought Saw and Order. In their first match, the former got put through the arena wall and ended the fight early. The rematch saw Triceracop pull out a slow and steady victory, simply prodding and dodging until the clock ran out. Its lifter is slow to actuate but has considerably more torque than Derive's, as well as longer forks. As always, the intention is to outspeed and outdrive an opponent, though this would be the real test.
Triceracop.
Triceracop. Nice work. Triceracop driven by Don. Let's give him a round of applause.
She's living in a world and it's so
For this semi-final.
she got her head in the clouds and she's not backing down.
All right, let's get this semi-final underway. Red team, are you ready? Green team, are you ready?
3, 2, 1, fight!
And they're off. Derive taking the fight to Triceracop.
Straight in, jamming straight into the corner.
Pieces coming off.
James seems to have attached a little GoPro onto his robot there.
Is very keen. Not sure how that camera's going to survive.
Oh,
Chucking Triceracop over him. But Triceracop's back in the game.
Both these robots are control-style robots. As we said, we have 3 categories, damage, aggression, and control. And both these robots are trying to flip, lift to show their control and aggression and stack their opponents up against the arena wall.
That's it. Derive trying to get an upper hand on Triceracop, but that lifter definitely putting up a fight.
Triceracop's just a little bit too slow to find an opening on Derive.
Definitely a more calculated battle of the lifters. And Triceracop comes out on top with that lift. Creating Derive around. But they do break free.
Rolled away.
Both robots smashing into where Death Roll is, and Derive grabbing Triceratops from the rear and flipping it upside down. Full suplex. And another grab. Once your wheels are off the ground, you are very vulnerable, which is what these robots are trying to do to each other.
After 10 seconds, Derive does have to separate from Triceratops. Is Triceratops able to self-right here?
Derive pushing Triceratops into the wall. Is Triceratops able to free itself? Derive waiting. Waiting and lurking.
And poking.
Triceratops needs to free itself from the wall. Oh, looks like it is.
It's
edging its way down.
It's slowly edging its way. It will have to be counted out if it can't get itself down.
Just waiting. Triceratops trying, but Derive not giving us opportunity, just controlling this fight.
Relentlessly pushing into the wall.
Triceratops still trying to free itself.
We may have to start counting this one down.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So close.
This one will go through to the judges again. We'll have a quick deliberation and get back to you with the result. All right, so we have a result from that fight, and the winner of that fight is Derive. Big round of applause for James.
Well done, James.
Two very good control bots going up against each other. And Don's not happy with that decision. Showing him what for.
Nice work, Don. Now these two robots look...
now, it doesn't count anymore. Put him down.
Play nice. Now, competitors have come from all around Australia, and there's a really great sense of camaraderie between all of the players. It's been really...
Everyone gets together to help repair their machines. So we all bring spare parts, but sometimes the damage is quite severe or we run out of parts. So people join together to try to share what they can to get these machines back together and back in the arena.
Not the way I thought things were going to end. Derive actually had a pretty catastrophic mechanical failure. The loud noise heard by the robot camera could also be heard very distinctly from the side of the arena from the moment the match started. It was the right-hand drivetrain belt which had completely stripped along, as well as the rear wheel pulley, meaning the Drobot had no power on that side of drive. While still moving fairly well, I had no idea if it would properly fail and disable. Despite this, I outdrove Triceratops for the most part and got the majority of lifts. They ended up getting stuck propped against the wall, and taking no chances, I gave them a nudge or two, hoping they would be counted out in the total of 60 seconds they remained there. To note as well, when halfway picked up Triceratops and then stop, this is actually pinning the stick for full lifter power. For whatever reason, it likes to stall occasionally, which requires a reposition. Nonetheless, Derive wins the judge's decision and moves on to the finals, seeing a familiar visage. Indeed, with an improved drivetrain and upgraded pneumatics, my finalist opponent from the Open Tournament returns. Previously Fling King, now Chuck Truck, this pneumatic flipper is well driven and easily launches robots that I couldn't even lift. The flips may not appear too damaging in the footage, but the landings can really hurt, particularly for Derive, where landing on the grabber arm would backdrive and break the lifter gearbox. In addition, the ram fires with a few tons of force, so clamping in the firing path would obliterate any mechanics. Last time I pulled out the win when Chuck Truck ran out of gas due to a leak, but this had since been rectified. The one advantage I have is forks. Due to Sportsman rules stuff, they can't run their wedgelets that beat me last time. Therefore, as ever, the path to victory is outdriving and avoiding even a single flip if possible.
Absolutely.
All right, and on that note, we are ready for our grand final. So first up, making its way to the arena, we have Derive.
Derive has been a strong contender this whole event.
This will be our last fight, our grand final for Robo Wars 2024.
Glenn and Cyberchuck. I mean, I'd love to see that Derive chucked up and hit the roof. Let's see if he can get under.
Yeah, Cyberchuck has a really high power flipper powered by compressed CO2 gas, which gives it a lot of power. That gas does get used up during the course of the fight.
Choose quick, you can't stick. My metaphor range the strangest angles. You get tangled, twisted side affections. Channels repeat, complete, can't compete. Check the hour texture. Mind adventure, exploit the point. Enter tracks to devour.
All right, let's get this fight underway. Red team, are you ready? Green team, are you ready?
3, 2, 1, fight!
They're off. Straight into the jaws. Derive gets the first flip, but then Cyberchuck flipping itself back on its wheels. It's a delicate dance, trying to get under its opponent. Each robot just trying to outdrive its opponent.
Looks like that flipper of Cyberchuck stuck up. Going to make it very difficult to get underneath Derive.
Both machines so nippy. Taking Cyberchuck into death roll. And another suplex from Derive. Cyberchuck having to use gas to get itself back on its wheels each time.
Derive needs to release Cyberchuck there. These
Other
two robots.
robots stuck together. Can we release them?
All right, we'll call.
And they have been released. So far, 1 minute in this final fight.
Cyberchuck once again self-riding.
Control.
Derive just grabbing Cyberchuck again and again from that point in the back. Keeping its wheels off the ground.
Contain, control.
Derive needs to separate from Cyberchuck after 10 seconds. I think he's attempting to.
And another push into the wall. Derive relentless with that grabbing arm. Those little hooks at the front of Derive's forks. Just getting underneath Cyberchuck each time.
Cybertruck trying to fire that weapon into that grabber to break it. 1 minute remaining.
1 minute remaining in this final fight. Cybertruck reorienting itself, trying to get some distance and re-home onto Derive.
That flipper still able to...
And the GoPro is sent flying.
Collateral
And
damage.
Derive's forks into the center of Cyberchuck. That they are able to separate.
30 seconds remaining. Looks like this one will go all the way to the judges.
Another toss there by Derive.
Ten,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that final is over. That's it. They will be crowned the winner of the competition. And I think we've done a quick deliberation. We have the drivers over. All right. So after a quick deliberation for that fight, the winner of RoboWars 2024 is Derive. James, well done.
Congratulations, James. Champion 2024. Well done. Team, great team.
So thank you to all our robot competitors here for putting on such a fantastic show. It's been an absolutely amazing event, and this wouldn't be possible without everybody working before the event to put together these machines and to put on such a fantastic show for you. So big round of applause for all the competitors as well.
And on behalf of World Science Festival 2024, big thank you to all of you, the audience who've come to support RoboWars Australia. Thank you and good afternoon.
Rounding off the event with another finals win, Derive is the 2024 Sportsman Champion. No mechanical failures to report, but some interesting elements from the fight nonetheless. Due to the grabber arm not being directly powered by the lifter motor, it handled a full force flip just fine. In preparation for the match, Glenn, the builder of Chuck Truck, put both extra CO2 in the tank as well as coating the robot's shell in compressor oil. The latter was apparently an attempt to make the robot harder to grab, but meant he was left with a rather slippery robot at the end of the fight. As for the CO2, the extra liquid meant some came straight out of the tank rather than expanding to produce more gas, so after a few powerful flips the pressure had dropped more than usual. An obvious element in this fight was getting stuck. The barbed forks on Derive like to get locked in Chuck Truck's underside pocketing, and with the reduced drive power I wasn't able to pull out. Bonus points if the lifter couldn't lift in that moment, leaving a bit of a stalemate. For sportsman events in the future I'll be removing the barbs from the forks as it seems to only degrade the quality of the fight. To round things off, I'm pleased with the pistol radio change. It does make fine lifter movements more difficult, but driving is significantly improved. Apart from solving the vest troubles, the mechanics of this Derive will likely carry on to the next version, which should compete sometime at the next RoboWars event. Until next time.